Whatever, that's like 3 weeks away.
Oh, excuse me.
Nice. This bottle on
It's
the
clear. We've had this.
Bonus episode night, everybody. We're at the bitter end. Don't tell Mal what we're drinking. And of course, during the bonus episodes, Mal, we get into a bottle that's been gotten into,
Yep.
but not by us on camera.
That's a rubbish.
Oh.
That's rubbish.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a Peat Monster now and then.
My tenure on this show is now ending.
Peaty and smoky.
Can I just take this mic off? Can someone get me out of here?
This is a Compass Box release. Natural color. Non-chill filtered. 46% alcohol. Whiskey maker John Glazer. It's Peaty and Smoky, Mal, by declaration on the label. The Peat Monster is peaty. Is our big peaty smoky malt whiskey. We like to think it adheres to, gosh, this is so hard to read, to Jerry's idea of a monster as an original in inexhaustible beauty. Good luck, everybody.
I thought he was your friend.
We are having the Peat Monster. Now, but I mean, in all seriousness, this is an amazingly light colored whiskey.
It is. It's very, very
This
clear.
is lighter than straw. This is, I mean, flat ginger ale. I mean, where are we?
I mean, his beer is darker.
Yeah, no.
Your beer is darker,
Yeah.
Mal.
It is, but mine doesn't say Peat Monster on it.
Or peaty and smoky in the swifty.
Yeah.
Well, look at this thing right on the label. That's the Peat Monster.
Yeah, look at it.
It's not so
Look
scary.
at that thing. Why would you do this?
You know what
Why?
that reminds
Why?
me of? This reminds
Why
me of a
would
pit
you-
bull with a mouthful of mayonnaise.
Hopefully some of you are paying attention out there because that's a good one.
Woo, doggy.
This is rubbish. By the way, I'm just going to tell you this is rubbish.
Listen.
Look at this. Look at it. Looks like a 5-year-old made that freaking thing. But I will tell you though, I'm going to base this on the fact that everything else that you put on this table that I thought was going to be like, but I got a bad feeling this is going to be the one it is.
How clear is how much peat could they really jam?
I know that doesn't make sense. You think it'd be dark and like
It's like so
foreboding.
hard to wish I could read this.
You can't read it.
The
like you
aroma
never
and
learned
flavor as you might expect provide a spectrum of seaside and medicinal
Oh, yeah,
persistence.
my favorites.
Tastes like
along
bourbon.
with
Seaside.
smokiness all surrounding. What does that say?
All the peat now.
All the
All
peat.
the peat.
Oh my gosh. It really, we started some show here that is probably more geared for my wife than for me. And at one point in a courtroom scene, the judge and one of the lawyers are talking, and he's just like, so you'd like to file a legal motion, legal. And the lawyer says, yes, Your Honor, I would like to file that legal motion, legal. And they go to the other person who's defending herself. And so what they're doing is describing that she has no idea about the language being used in the thing. So Mal, would you like to have a peaty whiskey smoky?
Well, since I'm boxed into this bar, there really is no way out for me. So I can't really just get out of here.
So this bottle got here by our teammate, Kalanick. He brought this up for New Year's many years ago. This is right up his alley.
You are a moron.
He is a Peat man.
He's a peat.
He is a peat man. He's
Yeah.
a big peat man.
Yep. And so this
And he has a friend called Pete.
and he does have a pal Pete. His pal
His
Pete.
pal Pete.
Yeah.
It's all
And he says, when Pete is acting like Pete, he's all like, "That's my pal Petey."
Yeah. All those pieces of puzzle will fall into place with those two guys.
So I think we're just gonna go for the Peat Monster. Now I've had this, but almost exclusively on New Year's Eve late in the evening with Kalanick. So I have no real frame of reference.
Yeah.
Petey. Slides out easy.
Slides out easy.
Easy peaty.
Easy.
Oh, it's there. and the corks betray a lot, but it's there.
It's there.
I'm just gonna go with it.
It's there. It's like right there.
So gonna go for the surprise.
Oh, it's not going to be a
We all
surprise.
like surprises. Everybody likes surprises.
No, you won't like this surprise.
Yeah.
But I will say, it is like, it really, I find it hard to believe that something that could cause this much angst in many a person's palate could be that light colored.
That is, I'll agree with you. But again, a lot of, we're making this association of color to robustness, really, whereas the coloration is often coming from the wood.
Okay.
Right, so I don't think, and the words are just like, I mean, you probably can't even tell there are words on there. But I don't think they're paying much attention to the wood in this one. It's really about just the peat fires to dry out the malt and the grains, and I think that's what's happening here. I think this is just liquor and Northern European dirt.
The aroma and flavor, as you might expect, provide a spectrum of... Oh, you read that one.
Peaty, smoky, peaty, whiskey, smoky, peaty.
It smells like a campfire.
It has that medicinal, that seaside, because we've sort of figured out we're going to get that peat bogs, closer to the ocean.
So I'm going to throw out another reference again, because yet again, we know things that our audience doesn't know.
Okay.
And I will say again that this is not. It smells rather palatable.
Well, when you know what you're after, I mean, you can tell, it's the ocean. It's a campfire on the beach.
Yep.
Seaweed thrown onto it.
No.
And then you yelled at you said, "Gee, man, why'd you throw that seaweed on the fire? And why is it crackling green and blue?" Oh, you bought it at the dollar store seaweed. No, here we go. It's the exhale. Going down easy. It's fine. It's fine. It's really fine. The peaty smokies is on the back end in the exhale.
You like peat breath?
Yeah, peat breath. What'd you have for dinner? Dirt.
As it lingers, you start to get more medicinal.
Burnt dirt.
That is that fresh walk in the peat bog.
Yeah.
As it starts to further, you can feel the heat.
Burnt dirt hurt.
And as you breathe in, you can feel it all. So, but here's what I'm going to say. After all the fanfare and the joshing around and the laughing around, that's rather tasty.
It's incredibly light.
It is very light.
So the base liquor was incredibly light, very smooth. What were we? 46%? Yeah. Incredibly smooth, light base. And then that smoky peaty, for me, really comes out at the end and the exhale and the linger, but not like the front, the middle.
The front, actually, when you take that first sip,
light and easy.
You can disagree or agree with me, but you take that first sip, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to enjoy this. And then you get to a point where you're like, if you, as Steve likes, if you like peat, you're really going to enjoy this. Because I, as a Speyside fan and bandwagon and thoroughly enjoy the lighter freaking scotches, I will say that is rather pleasant.
Well, what I'd be curious about, and I'm going to embarrass myself here with a flashlight, but this is a blend. This is a Compass Box blend, which is one of these companies that goes in sort of a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably gets actually a pricing discount by not announcing what they're blending. Okay. Right, which distilleries they're accessing, because of whatever sort of backroom deals that are made amongst, blenders and whiskey makers. But I am going to be curious if they give us even some regions. If it's a combination of a Speyside and an Isla or something along those lines. So I'm just going to take a quick scan to see if there's anything along those lines that bring us there.
I actually find the nose very deceiving.
Yes.
Because it it all hits you right as you get up there with the glass and start to smell it. But you take that first sip and it's like, oh, that's not that bad. It's not what I was
Correct.
expecting at all.
Yes, that I completely agree with you the way you approach that, because that's the way I looked at it. And that, like I said, being a Speyside fan and not being a huge Peat fan, you would think that you would have a much harder time drinking this.
Absolutely.
But then when you smell it and you drink it, you're really like, oh, okay, this is not that bad. I can deal with this.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
What you got?
Sourcing. A marriage of Islay single malts and heavy peated Highland single malts. So we have, instead of an Islay and a Speyside, we have Islay and Highland.
Okay.
Right. And peated Highlands as well. But I think some of that foundational smoothness is in that Highland whiskey, because the base liquor is not reminiscent of an Islay to me. The after effect is.
Yes.
Right? And so I see the marriage of the Highland and the Islay.
Yeah, you don't have that punch in the face like an Islay gives you.
Right. Boom, the whole journey. Right.
But that is a lot smoother than I give it. Now, here's one thing I will reckon. Let's just say, if they put that at cast strength, that would be a whole different monster.
Well, I would be curious what would happen to the coloration. Now, keep in mind that oftentimes we're drinking intentionally released alcohol at about 40 to 44.
Yes.
Okay, 42, 43, pretty common. See a lot of cask strengths in the mid 50s, 53, 57.
Yep.
Sometimes you'll see something in the 60s. That's that Dragon's Breath,
Yep.
that Mortlock released by Blackadder.
Yeah.
So at 46, it makes me feel like there's a possibility that this was cut, but not all the way.
And do you think, now let's just throw this out there, do you think it was cut because when they tasted it at full strength, they were like, ooh, maybe too much?
Hard for me to think that would be the deal if you're releasing something called the Peat Monster.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point.
I mean, it says peaty and smoky, not mostly peaty and smoky. That's a Who album, right? Mostly peaty and oh no, it's peaty,
Yeah.
right? So maybe they just felt like it was too. I don't know what it would be on the front end that they would want to bring it down to 46, because it's very smooth on the front.
It is very smooth. Kevin said that. We just had the conversation where you were off camera reading the
Yeah, I
notes.
was over here. Oh,
And we just talked about that. You would never would have thought that would have been that smooth based on what you're reading. Based off the nose, you're like, oh, okay, I can live with this.
Right. No, it's like, what's a baby monster? It's like not a monster, right? It's like it's not a Scooby-Doo monster, right? So it's not Smog, and it's not a Scooby-Doo monster, right? What's that monster in the middle?
Like Dino?
Dino? No, it's more than Dino.
Like Monsters Inc.
Like Monsters
Like
Inc.
Like Sully? He can,
Yeah.
Man, he could be, but he's fun. Right? He's fun, though.
Yeah,
He's fun.
yeah.
Or Mike.
Yeah.
You can't really take serious as a monster, but he is a monster.
I'm on a Scotch bottle.
Oh, this is probably not something you guys came across because, when my kids were younger, but real monsters.
Real monsters.
Right.
Yeah.
This is almost like I'm a real monster. Right? Not really. I mean, yeah, you're a monster.
Right.
So would you say that the name betrays what it really is?
I think the name could maybe put somebody off, like it put us off.
No doubt.
Right. And then to be like, oh, yeah, that's not so bad.
So I will say this, and this goes out to Colonic out there, and I'm sure he watches. I will join you New Year's for a bit of that.
Colonic, New Year's Eve.
Because
We slay the monster.
That was yeah. I would definitely drink that again.
I would too. Especially New Year's Eve, which suggests kind of cool weather up here in southern New
That is
Hampshire.
correct.
Yeah, absolutely. The Peat Monster.
Yeah, very interesting pick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Compass Box release, Islay and Highland blend of peated whiskeys. Very smooth finish. Pretty solid ending and lingering effects. Not a boss monster. Mid-level monster. You got to earn some more experience points to get to the boss. This isn't the boss.
No.
This isn't the final boss.
No.
Well, now I wonder if there's a bigger monster.
I do feel like there are other compass box that, you know, sort of have like upped the ante as regarding their peat monsters. But that's the bonus episode tonight,
That
gents.
was well played.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Scared me.
yeah. I
Then you
thought
make
we
me
told
laugh.
at the beginning, don't tell Matt what we're drinking. And
And now I have a smile on my face.
the pit bull and all that. I mean, too bad Chucky's not a member of this group because he would have spit out his drink. So we're gonna travel to Asia, which is sort of a region that involves, you know, obviously a lot of cultures, a lot of dialects. This one is apparently strongly connected with China, but sort of referenced in Asian culture overall. And the translation is to drain your glass. So we've done a lot of the kempais, which is sort of like
Which I love.
which is a bottoms up, right?
Great tradition.
But drain your glass is a similar but different phraseology in Asia. So in Asia or China, drain your glass. Kai pei. Even easy on the big gulp. Even easy on the big gulp. I mean, you know, meaty, beady, big and bouncy, but still.
That breath out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
The more definitely now I'm like, ooh.
It's all the flavors, but none of the repulsion.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm agreeing.
Fear's not materialized.
No. It's not as big a
You
monster.
better get here, Clonic. We might just drink it.